at Super Bowl 51 on Radio Row with Jackie Slater, Hall of Fame offensive lineman, and here for the Low T Center. We'll get to that coming up in a moment. Jackie, first of all, you played in this game with the Rams, and now your son Matt is playing for the Patriots. This will be his third Super Bowl coming up on Sunday.
How about that?
How about that? That's exclusive. That's darn exclusive company that you guys are in.
Cool. It's pretty cool. We tease each other about it all the time. He goes, Dad, he said, I got you beat. He said, I'm not going to play 20 years like you did, but in 9 years I've gone to 3 Super Bowls. That's pretty cool, and it is. You know, they lost the first one, and then they beat the Seattle Seahawks, and then who knows what's to happen here. But, man, just to be able to be on this stage for 3 of the last 9 years that he's been in the league, it's amazing. He's just very fortunate.
And as a parent myself, son played high school football. It's got to be tougher to watch him play than even when you play, right?
It is unbelievably difficult. And I think I would have a lot easier time watching him if he was 300 pounds and he was putting his hand on the ground and only going about 5 yards in any direction at any single play. But he's 190 pounds and blazing fast, and he's running as fast as he can to get down and have these huge collisions. And I'm thinking, my goodness, man, you know, how do you do this? It's just kind of hard to watch, but, you know, I just trust the fact that, you know, he's been coached well and has the skill to get it done safely.
When did he start playing, and would you recommend a son playing at a very early age? Because that's kind of a debate right now.
Well, it is a debate, and I didn't let him play until he got to high school. If it had been left to me, he never would have played a down football, tackle football, because, you know, I just, first of all, didn't think he was going to be big enough, and he's wearing glasses where his eyes were going the wrong way. He's got his knees knocking and everything. He's got asthma sometimes. And so I just thought, okay, we need to get this kid in some kind of a sport, keep him active, let him learn the benefits of team sports, but let it be something that he can handle. So I coached baseball. I coached basketball. I was a track and field coach. I mean, a soccer coach. I did everything you can imagine, and he kept coming back to football. So he went out for it in the 9th grade. That was his first year. I had told him, if you still want to play and you get to high school, you can play. And that was, he said, Dad, I'm getting ready to go into high school. He said, I'm not going to get hurt because I'm going to play corner, and you told me I could play. So that's how he came at me. Put him in there, and then he just took off. He loved it.
So as a general rule then, are you saying that you wouldn't recommend letting your kids play ball?
Well, as a general rule, I would. He's having a lot of success, and I wouldn't want to begrudge him that success, but it's just very difficult. You know, I know I've seen so much, you know, and it's, if you train kids properly and they, you know, but you just got to do it right, man. When things are done right, you can be successful and you can play the game and walk away from it, even though you might be scarred from it, and you'll feel like, you know, your life can have quality of life when you're done. But if you don't do it correct and you don't manage people properly, then walking away from the game can be disastrous, because I know a lot of people that are having a lot of problems.
You're doing okay, though. I mean, it's been 2 decades, but are you still doing okay after football?
What did you say?
How are you health-wise?
I'm doing pretty good for the most part. I've been very fortunate. I have issues, as you can imagine. You don't play. When I retired, I played more games in the offensive line than anybody in the history of the game when I retired.
And the record still stands, right?
No, Bruce Matthews.
Okay.
In fact, they flew me to Tennessee to present a ball to him.
Okay.
When he broke the record, broke my record. But, you know, I was very fortunate. I had a great deal of passion for what I was doing, and then I was just blessed with a unique amount of ability to do what I was doing. I mean, I had really good – I never thought of myself as being, you know, a prototype for the position when I was playing, but everybody who was always around me was telling me that I was the guy they wanted to find another one of. So I ran well. I played with good leverage. I used my shoulders and my hat in timely manners where it didn't put too much pressure on my head or my shoulders. You know, I knew when to accelerate to be explosive at the point of attack so that I wasn't on the receiving end of the punishment. It was just so many intangibles that went into, you know, me having a career and playing at the level that I did that was very unique. A lot of people have helped me come to realize.
People believe the Dallas Cowboys offensive line might be the best in the NFL right now. What do you think about their group?
I think that's a very valid argument. In fact, a year ago at the Super Bowl 50 up in the Bay Area, I had the opportunity at the Maryland Olsen luncheon to speak with Jerry Jones briefly. I just walked up behind him and whispered in his ear. I said, "You're finally getting it right now. You're getting back to the way you used to be." And he looked at me and smiled, and I think he remembered when I was covering the NFL when they played the Pittsburgh Steelers, I believe, over in Arizona. Fox had me to come to Dallas and do a piece on their offensive line. Nate and Larry Allen and
Eric Williams
and Mark Tuanay and all of those guys. And he was so proud of them and their efforts. But that was an offensive line. Derek Kennard was that center that year. That was an offensive line that just kind of came together without a lot of investing. You know, they had Nate there. I don't know when he was drafted. Larry, I don't know when Eric Williams was drafted. I don't know when Larry Allen, I think, was a second-round pick. And the guy who was coaching them at that time was the guy who had coached me for 9 years at the Rams, Hudson Houtt.
Right.
So they had a great group of guys, talent, and they had a mentor for them that was putting them in the right spots. And then they featured a good back and a good quarterback. So this is the closest thing that they've had to that group since I've been watching them.
I would love to pick Atlanta on Sunday, but it's because they're the underdog, and you're someplace for the Patriots.
It just blows me away that they're the underdogs like that. I mean, they're looking at a whole lot of things that aren't on the field. They're looking at the coaches. They're looking at the preparation time that the coaches have. They're looking at just the Patriots are a very good football team, and I love my son's participation in the special team efforts. They play very well, but it's just, man, when you watch I watched the Atlanta Falcons put 6 touchdowns up on the Rams in the blink of an eye when the strength of their football team was their defense under Jeff Fisher. So it's going to be a tough game. It's hard for me to. I know where my heart is, but it's just hard for me to, jump on that bandwagon 100%.
Jackie Slater is with us. Low T is one of our sponsors this year. Jackie, talk to us about what they've done for you.
Well, Low T is an interesting thing. They got 40 centers all over the country and growing more. I think that there are 3 numbers that all guys need to be aware of. They need to be aware of their cholesterol numbers. They need to be aware of their PSA, and they need to be aware of their low T. As we get older, a lot of us, we just say, okay, I'm slowing down now. We have a tendency to get a little heavier. We gain more weight. We feel a little bit more fatigued, a little bit more tired about things, not the energy that we had, and we just assume that it's getting old. And that's part of the process, getting older. But it's a tangible way to measure whether or not you can actually live in this world by necessity or not, by getting your low T scores, because that can be corrected.
Jackie Slater with us at Super Bowl 51.